Okay guys, let's get started on problem 21. These are word problems, so more than likely it'll just be one per video, and so you'll have to just kind of go through and see which ones you need help with. So in this particular problem, it says you invest $15,000 into a business. Each item costs $10 per unit to make, essentially, and you are selling the unit for $35. Part A wants the cost, revenue, and profit function, and so I went ahead and lined that up for you. And then B is find the break-even point. So let's go ahead and get started on cost. Essentially, cost is all of the amount that it's going to cost you to make an item. And so this one, or items, and so this one is $15,000 you invest. And so that is a form of cost. So investment is cost. And then this says it costs you $10 per unit to make. And so in this particular problem, X is going to stand for unit. How many units? So when we're looking for the cost, you have to say, okay, it's $10 per unit plus the $15,000 that I invested. And so this is my cost function. Revenue function is, revenue is the definition we learned in class was, how much we're making per unit, and so, or how much we're selling it for. So here it says we're selling it for $35, and so our revenue function is pretty simple. It's just $35 per unit. Profit, on the other hand, is how much are you making? So you have to acknowledge it costs something to make something. And so your profit function is taking your revenue and subtracting. So your revenue function minus your cost function. But be careful, remember this should be in brackets like when we were subtracting functions. So bracket 10x plus 15,000. Now let's simplify 35x minus 10x minus 15,000. And so we get a profit function of 25x minus 15,000. And so now let's look at the part B part. Break-even point. If you don't understand what break-even point, it's essentially you're not making any profit and you're not losing any money. So we're looking for, well, how many items will it take to do that? Like how many of these units would we need to sell in order to just break even, where you don't, make any profit, but we don't have any more cost. And so essentially that means your profit is 0. So go back to your profit function, P of X equals 25x minus 15,000. And so this would essentially say that your output or your profit was nothing. And we are solving for X. Remember, X was just quantity of units. So then you would add 15,000 to both sides. So you would get 15,000 equals 25x. Divide both sides by 25. This is just solving an equation. And you end up with x equaling 600. And remember, this is talking about units. So this means after your 600 units, you can start actually making profit. And before 600, you are not making any money. You're still haven't broke even. So 600 units is the magic number to break even on this particular word problem.